Hi, welcome back. As every single video I've done, please go watch the first one. It's going to give you more context, more visual context. Today is going to be again some black background and ugly debug boxes and points and whatever. So yeah, it's not going to be super exciting visually, but it's about something I really like, and I'm quite happy that I've managed to do it. It's working. It's the looping map coordinates. So what is that? What am I talking about? It's simply instead of having, so you could have infinite maps. I mean, almost infinite maps with a chunk system or whatever. But it's not something I want to do. So the maps have a definite size. But the thing is, if the player reaches the end, the map starts again. So it's just looping around the maps as you can see now, we start looping and we start repeating the map, so the player can just move forward, and it's going to repeat again and again, and it goes in both directions. So you can have negative coordinates as well, and it sounds tricky to implement, and it is tricky to implement, especially for networking. But it's not that bad. So when you work with chunks, it's not super complicated to make coordinate loops. You can use like a modulo or something like that to that effect for working. But yeah, the main pain point is the networking. So I basically had to implement my own world origin offset to make this work in multiplayer. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, but just to prove you that the map is actually working, I'm just going to draw a pattern, a smiley or something like that, if I can. I'm not sure I can. It's hard. Okay, so this is a recognizable shape, hopefully. So yeah, if I keep moving forward, we should see that I should find the smiley again if I keep going. Where is it? Yes. So as you can see, it's really looping for real. It's because you might not trust me if you just see like debug points like that. No, it's actually working. These actors are it's a little slow to update, but eventually. Yes, so yeah, as you can see, I can keep going again and again. It's going to repeat the thing. And so how did I do that? It's quite simple. So first of all, you have to understand that all these actors have the same root component, which is a locator component. So the locator component as the map, the map actor. So as I was mentioning in a previous video, all the maps are managed by an actor that I call the map manager. And so all these locator components knows they all know about this map. They are connected. So the map knows about this locator, and the locator knows about the map. And so this locator helps, as its name suggests, I guess, helps work with the translate of the actor. And so using this, it's very easy to make the actor loop. So for example, if the player moves past a certain point, right now I've basically when the player reaches 25% of the map or 75% of the map on the other hand, it's going to shift the origin. So like right now 25% boom, and now 75% boom. That the origin recenter on the player when you reach this point. And so when this happens, you just need to detect which actors with the locator component needs to be corrected and move them at the opposite side, basically. You just need to. It's actually quite easy in principle. When still things start to become really tricky is on a server configuration, obviously, because the server doesn't loop. It's only the player. It's only the player that needs to have this looping effect. And I'm going to show you actually how I'm going to make it, like to break it, to make the looping not work, to show you the issue when working in multiplayer. Okay, so I relaunched the game and just disabled a single thing to break it. But just to show you, so now I'm just it's the same thing for the local player. Right now I'm playing in standalone, so no server. I just changed the visibility so you can see all the objects. And so right now nothing changed. Like for the local player, it still works. As you can see now, the thing is, the map is looping as expected. I don't need to correct anything on the server side or on the local side because yeah, I'm just playing locally. But now, if I play with a client and listen server, just to show you the difference between the two, you're going to see a lot of issues happening. Okay, so on the left I have my listen server. So this is the server, and the server doesn't loop, just so you know. You don't want the server to loop. I mean, it's false because in this case it's a listen server. So the listen server is also a player, so it's going to have to loop. But when you have a dedicated server, you don't need any loop to happen because you don't care visually if at the end of the map the player doesn't see the other side because you don't have visuals when you are a server, so you don't care. I mean, you care for other stuff like for example physics and stuff, but then you need to deal with that yourself, and this is what I'm planning to do, so it's fine. But so now on the right I'm jumping a client. Okay, I just need to, okay, and so now if I go back in here, I can see in here my client. This is my client, and so now I'm going to make my client move forward on the right. And on the left, if I go back in here, you can see that the server is updating. Right now it's invisible because my player is not in range, but it's still there. You just need to keep track of the white dots. So the white dots are just the activated chunks by the player. And so I just go forward. I just need to reach the end of the map. And so on the client, what's going to happen is that the client will try to make, like the client will shift its origin. So now the origin has shifted, and you can see that the actors far in front. And on the server, what happened is that the server made jumped the client back here. So the client reached the end of the map. On the client side, nothing did really happen. Like it just kept going forward. But on the server, now the client is back at the beginning of the map because it loops basically. And so I just want to show you what's happening. And so this is a big issue, obviously, because now if my server is correcting the position, then my client goes back around and it's not at the correct location. So, I mean, it's kind of, I guess, hard to illustrate right now, but I think you can see the idea. It's the issue is that when the client reaches the end of the map, the server wants to make it back here. So what's going to happen is that the client is going to receive the correction of the location and it's going to basically be teleported back. This is not what you want, obviously. So what you need to do is you need to correct this location on the client side. So this is also why I'm using Locator components. So the Locator components is updating anytime its transform is updated. So I have overridden the OnUpdateTransform function on the scene component. And so basically when the client receives the server location, it's before actually applying the location, it's updating this and applying the local offset to it. So you basically correct the correction from the server to your local client. It's not only for the player pawn; it's also for every actor. All the actors need correction. So, for example, right now we can see it's not actually it's working because I looped back, but yeah, it's I'm doing a terrible job at explaining it, honestly, but it's relatively easy to solve if you know what you're doing, and if you can also implement it in your style of project. Because in my case, I can do it again because I don't care about physics in like the Unrelated physics engine or whatever. I can just make things loop however I want, and it's fine as long as I can just catch the moment when the server send the correction. And so basically, the clients will need to correct all locations of all replicated actors, including its own pawn, which is fine. But yeah, that's basically it. I won't dive into like actual implementation code or whatever because it's so dependent on your project. But that's the basic idea. You need the client to keep a origin offset value, and whenever the transform from the server is sent and received on the client, then you need to correct it, which is not a big deal, but you need to make sure that this works for every case. And finally, just before I end this video, something else completely unrelated. It's something I've just implemented. It's pretty trivial. It's just I added support for a multiplier for the chunk radius. So as I was explaining in one of the first videos, I'm using a Activator component to generate chunks around actors, for example, for a pawn, the player pawn. And so I just implemented a multiplier for this. So it's a dynamic value. So for example, I just implemented a multiplier by height. So when the activator gains height, the radius expands basically. So the higher you are basically the farther you can see. So it's just a very quick nice thing to implement, and it's working quite well. So yeah, that's just that. All right, thanks for watching again, and see you next time.